we are saying that you are supposed to say 3 minus 2x is less than x minus 2. Okay? Then that means that now it will be collecting like terms, so we shall take 3 on this other side of the linear inequality, so that it becomes 3 plus 3 is less than, if this negative 2x crosses the other side of the linear inequality, it becomes positive, so it becomes x plus 2x, such that we shall have 6 is less than 3x. When we divide both sides by 3, we shall get 2 is less than what? X. Isn't it? Now, if we now move from our right hand side until we reach to this other linear inequality, we shall be able to extrapolate that equation such that we shall have x minus 3 is less than or equal to 4. Okay? That means the negative 3 will cross the equal sign, isn't it? So that when we shall have this equation, we shall have it like this: x is less than or equal to what? 4 plus 3, so that x is less than or equal to 7. Any question? Now from here, you are now supposed to combine these two equations. How do you combine them? What you are supposed to do is that you will be able to come and write x in the middle. Okay? So when you write x in the middle, it will be x now ending up having two different values. So that now we are saying 2 is less than x. Chenye unafanya, or what you're supposed to do, you just write these 2 on your left hand side and 7 on your right hand side. So 2 on your left of x, 7 on your right of x. You want to combine them and form one equation. So that now this says 2 is less than x. You maintain that side, 2 is less than x. Okay? Then this says x is less than or equal to 7. X is less than or equal to 7. With the linear inequalities, when you have been told to combine and come up with one expression, ensure that these signs are facing in the same direction. It is very dangerous to have these signs or these linear inequalities facing in different directions. Come as combine, they are supposed to face in the same direction. So that tells you that now that becomes our equation when the two have been combined. Now, if you want to get the integral values, it is very easy. All these values are positive. You can come up with a number line. Then you say 0, because you don't have any negative value here. You shall just begin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then 7. Okay? So from that number line, it is very now clear to us that this is 2. And what did I tell you? I told you that when you get less than or greater than, isn't it? You circle that value. When you get greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, you shade. Isn't it? So this is less than. So we shall circle. That means 2 is not included. So when you come here, it is less than or equal to 7. You shade. That means 7 is included. So that when you want to actually represent that expression on a number line, that becomes now your information on that number line. So that moving forward, because 2 is not included, you begin from what? From 3. Integral values, zile value ambazo kwa katikati between those two numbers. So that means our first number is 3 because 2 is less than x. We want to get the values of x. So if you want to get the values of x and we are saying 2 is less than x, is 2 a value of x?
It's less than x.
Yeah. So we want to get the values of x. Is 2 going to be included?
No.
Because 2 is less. So only values of x that can satisfy this inequality will begin from 3. Okay? Will begin from that number to 4, then to 5, then to 6, Why are we including 7? We are saying x is less than or equal to 7. Or equal to, meaning 7 is also included in those values of x. Any question? Vizuri sana. I know you have now understood that. It is as simple as that. It is one of the easiest areas. Ask any question. What did you get? Ulipata nini? Very good. So you're supposed in fact to write here not included. Ikisema not included, so unaelewa? Values are not included. Values not included. Values included. What I try to mean here is that when you are trying to give the values of x that can satisfy the inequality, you are supposed to either include the values if we have less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, or not include the values if it is less than or greater than. Question?
No question?
Very good. You want us to do another question?
Yeah, we'll have 3, like, there's many.
So, nifunde? Very good. So, so what does the other one read?
7 minus 3x
7 minus 3x
is less than 21.
is less than
2x.
Umekunywa chai kweli bwana. Oh,
Negative 6.
less than 2x negative 6.
Yeah.
2x minus 6.
Yeah.
Just like that.
And then it's less than or equal 10.
So we'll again move from our left hand side up to the starting point of the second inequality, so that we shall have 7 minus 3x is less than 2x minus 6. We will again collect like terms. 6 will cross the other side of the linear inequality. Negative 3x crosses the other side of the linear inequality. So that we will have 7 plus 6 is less than 2x plus 3x. We will have 13 is less than 5x. So when we divide both sides by 5, we will get the value of x as, what is 13 divided by 5?
2.6.
2.6. Good. So that's the first one. Let's go now to the second part. We actually erase this and move from our right hand side up to where the other inequality begins, the second one. So that we will have 2x minus 6 is less than or equal to 10. The 6 will now cross the equal sign, and we shall have 2x is less than or equal to 16. So that x is less than or equal to 8. So we want to combine the two. We will put x in the middle. We write 2.6 on our left hand side, then we write 8 on our right hand side. So that now we shall write less than and less than or equal to. So 2.6 is less than x is less than or equal to 8. So if they tell you to get the integral values, you just draw a number line like this. Because we do not have any negative value, we shall just begin from 0 with nothing on our left hand side. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then 2.6 is somewhere here. So we circle. Why are we circling? Because the inequality is less than. Then less than or equal to we share. So when you are writing the integral values of x that satisfy the inequality, we will begin with 3, then we go to 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We are including 8 because it is less than or equal.
So that is the main problem.
Yeah.
I did not understand well. That is the integral includes the values.
So that means
So
if it is this, you don't include this value, you leave it. Because they are saying 2.6 is less than x, meaning 2.6 cannot qualify to be the value of x. Because what means less.
Yeah.
Alafu pia wakisema 2.6 is greater than, don't include that. If they say 2.6 is greater than x, meaning 2.6 does not form part of values of a, ni kubwa kwa hizo values za a, so yes kwa value ya x because ni kubwa kwa x, ama ni less kwa a kwa x.
So it's not inclusive.
It's not included. You only include those values ambazo ziko hivi, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to.
Yeah.
Very good. That is what you are supposed to do. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 included also.
Thank you.
Umeelewa?
No. So the last one. 8 minus 2x
8 minus 2x
less 3x
less 3x
minus 5 less or equal 12.
So 8 minus 2x less 8 minus 2x is less than 3x minus 5, which is less than or equal to 12. What you are supposed to do here is that you are going first to begin from your right hand side up to where the second inequality begins from, so that you can just draw a line. In fact, what you are supposed to do, you just draw a line like that, then you say 3x minus 5 is less than or equal to 12. So it will be 3x when negative 5 crosses the linear inequality, it becomes is less than or equal to 12 plus 5. So that means we shall have 3x is less than or equal to 17. When you divide both sides by 3, you will have your value of x as less than or equal to 5.3 or 5.6.
5.6.
666, which is 5.67, isn't it? Now, let's go to this other side. We move from this point up to where the second inequality again stops. So we shall have 8 minus 2x is less than 3x minus 5. So this crosses the equal sign and goes to this other side. This crosses the equal sign and goes to this other side. We are collecting like terms. So we shall have 8 plus 5. Why plus? Because it has crossed the inequality, it becomes positive. Is less than 3x plus 2x. So we have 13 is less than 5x. So we divide both sides by 5. We shall have x as 2.6. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, we want now to combine the two. We will have x in the middle. Then our first one is what? This one. We can begin with the lowest value, which is 2.6, isn't it? Then our highest value is 5.67. Okay? So if that becomes the case, you are going to begin from 3. Why? Because I don't even draw a number line, because you already know what you are supposed to do, isn't it? So it means you shall begin from 3, then you go to what? To 4, then to 5, then 5.67. I told you when this looks like this, it means you are going to include that value. It also forms part of that. So you are supposed also to include it so that it forms part of your working. So that the values that satisfy the inequality or the expression that reads 2.6 is less than x less than or equal to 5.67 will be 3. Why are we beginning from 3? Because 2.6 is less than x. So 2.6 does not get included. So you begin from 3, 4, 5, and lastly 5.67 also being included because the inequality reads less than or equal to, meaning that value is also included or forms part of the values of x. Very good. I think you have understood that, unless you have a question. Now, tafadhali mwanafunzi, what I want you to understand is that there's something very important you are supposed to note. Let me give you an example here. And you should be very careful because the sub inatakanga you have all the information. You can get something of this sort. 2 minus x is less than let's say 2 plus 3x is less than x minus 2. Are you seeing this? Now we are going to, let me just use this as an example. Let me hope you are working out this, isn't it? This will come to this other side, this come to this other side, isn't it? So you'll have 2 plus what? Plus 2 is less than x minus, and nitakwambia kitu kikuja huku kwenye kule jana anaanza. So you have 4 is less than negative 2x. Are you seeing? They are going to divide with what? Negative 2, negative 2. So if these are these cancels, you have x. Once you divide with a negative on an inequality, the inequality sign changes. That's something very important you're supposed to know. So it becomes negative 2 is greater than what? X. Ukidivide na negative kwa inequality, lazima uchange.
Okay.
Because if you don't change it, then itamaanisha umeanguka. Now, unajua, that means then you are supposed to be able to get all the information in a way that if a question comes in any way, you have a shot of getting it. Why? Because all the information is at your disposal in as far as any question is concerned. So a negative sign dividing through an inequality changes the sign of the inequality. So that if it was less than, it becomes, so we have 2 plus 3x less than x minus 2. When negative 2 crosses the other side of the inequality, it becomes 2 plus 2, which is less than. When 3x crosses the other inequality, the other side of the inequality becomes x minus 3x. So that means 4 is less than x minus 3x. So 4 is less than negative 2x. When I divide both sides by negative 2, that will change my inequality. Or my inequality sign will do what? Will change. My inequality sign will change. Any question? Amefahamu? Very good. So from day henceforth, if you get an inequality where you are supposed to divide with a negative sign, always change the sign of the inequality. Very, very important.
Thank you so much.
Now can I wrap?
I wrap.
Very good. So we can go to some other questions. So what we shall do, so you will be in need of those topics in terms of discussion?
Yeah, that's topics I need to.
Very good. So what we shall do?
The problem, sometimes I do forget those formulas and questions. They can ask you inequality question. You think that, what is that inequality?
Oh, in fact, nimeona pale tukijadili inequalities. You see, we have already done something on that. Although kuna ya form 4, although form 4 hii inequality. Inaitwa linear programming, but they are related. Linear programming ni baba, linear inequality ni mama.
And ile calculus.
Calculus ndio ndio rahisi mluye.
Okay.
Wewe mwenye alikudanganya ni ngumu, alikudanganya siku bichi. Hiyo ndio wanafunzi wanang'ariaga.
And niliona ya babo wina kufundisha.
Calculus, differentiation and integration ni vitu rahisi. Topic yenye walimu wa wanafunzi secondary inaitwa low side. Nenda ambia mwalimu akufunza leo atakwambia siko ready.
Kwa nini?
You see, it has very stupid questions. Unajua ni construction. Mtu anakuambia assuming a point is in between x and y. You see, such things, you know, and you want to draw a perpendicular from that point to another unknown point. Hiyo inafaa mwalimu awe mbona anazaachia kwa njia. Anasema hiyo sijui.
Unasema aje? Unasema aje?
Kuna mwenye hujai kutana mwalimu akwambie sijui.
So, I just want to, we can just do vectors, 2 questions. Statistics 2. Statistics 1 should be fun.
Mimi ni moja media.
Naweza kuza tu ile. Naweza piga vectors.
1 and 2. 2 ni ya programming. Quadratic. Na hizi quadratics tumefanya mlui.
So unajua I want to underline them in case nikisoma najua hii itasema vectors najua ni handle zake.
Yeah, amesema vectors 1
and 2.
Vectors 1 and 2. Very good. So you want to understand how these things are done.
Yeah.
So you want us to use questions.
Because you brought the question. You know the formula, but you don't remember how to study.
Very good. I think we can use questions, isn't it? So that I know for vectors we are supposed to cover the following. Number 1, kuna kitu kinaitwa types of vectors. So for you to be able to say that you are now able to answer any question in vectors, you're supposed to cover the following areas. We have types of vectors. We have midpoints. We have division of a line. We have geometry used in vectors. We can just say geometry. Then we have something else called the ratio theorem. We have operations in vectors. We have collinear points. Na hapa division of line kuna external na kuna internal. Very good. Geometry, ratio theorem, operations in vectors, collinear points. Then we have under midpoints, very good types of vectors. Like we shall look at the we have what we call what unit vectors. Very very important. Unit vectors.
Mwalimu kama tulienda hapo
Parallel lines.
funny equation.
Very good.
The angle equation.
Very good. Given that AB is this, blah 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 blah. So easy bit in about to cover, and you're supposed to actually get all of them, so that before you answer any question, that's it. And you know, easy how many lessons? Let me see. If I'm the one teaching, I can take a maximum of 3 lessons. The maximum is but you can even take 2 lessons. Then we'll be done with that. Now, given that AB is 8 centimeters, AD is 7 and AC is 6, CD is 2.82 and I'm going to see AB is 50. I'll get two decimal places the length BC. Umeandika hizo vitu na kufuta ama utaandika kwa ndani tukiangalia. So we have D, we have N, we have C, we have B. This is 50 degrees. Very good. This is 8. This is 6. This is 2.82. This is 7. I'm not sure about the diagram. 7, 8, 6. 2.82. See the B is 50 degrees. Hizo umeandika?
Hii bado kuna ndio ni.
can even add something else called magnitude. Visibility of this room iko poa sana.
Yeah.
Naka kamera inakaa tu kama iko kwa jikoni.
Ina record but.
Ina record lakini sasa visibility is very poor. Very poor. Wewe nataka tu uko maybe face to face unaongea na ina record hapa na kutoa uso. Here, it does not allow in enough light. It does not allow in enough light. That is the problem.
Okay.
Now, that first part has how many marks?
2 marks.
Now, you see,
the length of BC.
You see, what is happening here is that unaona hii unaweza toa hapa triangle tu bila kwa hivi. Unaona? Ukachora tu hapa vizuri. Ndio. Then we have A, we have C, then we have what? B. So you have 6 centimeters, ndio? 8 centimeters. Na hapa ni how many degrees? 50 degrees. Then you imagine x, again how many? Is it the same thing? Very good. Now what you are supposed to do is that you can use what we call cosine rule. Because unaona hili ni, in fact this triangle is called scalene. I told you a scalene triangle is a triangle where all the 3 sides are not equal to each other. This is 6, this is 8, this may have a different value. That means that is a scalene triangle. All sides are not equal. So ukipata triangle,
Isosceles, the
2 sides are equal.
2 sides.
Isosceles unapata kitu kama hii na hivi. So unapata 8 centimeters, 8 centimeters. It means also that angle and that angle are equal. So 2 sides are equal, 2 opposite angles are equal. Here inaitwa isosceles. But this is called scalene. All sides are not equal, all angles are not equal.
So what they bring is this two.
In most cases they will give you this or that. Hakuna mtu anakupea right angle triangle. So kila mtu anapata right angle triangle. Eti hii ni height ni base, a half base times height. Na unajua tu base squared plus height squared is equal to hypotenuse squared. Kila mtu anafanya hivi. The ones they bring are this or this. So when they bring a scalene triangle, there are 2 things you're supposed to apply. One, if this thing is not actually inside a circle, it actually takes you to applying what we call cosine rule. So you use cosine rule. So nilikwambia kama hii ni A, you actually label this as A. In fact, let's X. If this is B, you take this to be B. If this is C, you take this to be what? C. Okay? So that from that, you can now say, because you are interested in A, unaona? You are interested in getting A. Unaanza na nini? A squared? A squared is equals to B squared plus C squared. Sawa? B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. Now, if that becomes the case, our A squared, what is the value of A? The value of A is A. So you just say A squared, okay? is equals to, what is B? 6 squared. What is C? 8 squared minus 2 times B 6 times C 8 cos, what is the angle? 50. So you say cos what? Cos 50 degrees. Sawa? Now, after that, you have S squared is equals to 64, that is 8 squared, then 6 squared is that, so it will be 36 plus 64 minus 2 times 6 times 8, that is 96 cos 50. Any question? Then we will have S squared is equals to 100 minus 96 cos what? 50 degrees. So S squared is equals to 100 minus 96 times, what is cos 50?
Cos 50. 0.643.
Nipe hizo namba zote mluya.
0.64278. 7 equal to
787.
78. Sasa 7 iko nini? So itakuwa 788.
788.
Yeah.
Good. Now we have S squared is equals to 100 minus, what is the answer here? Times 96. If we find cos 50 times 96.
What's it? Minus?
Times.
96. 61.70. So now 7.
Nipende za manamba zikienda usiround off.
71 sababu wamesema 2 decimal.
Hatujamaliza jibu.
61.7076.
67076. Unajua uweze round off kama hujamaliza. Una round hiyo mafunzo kishapata final answer. So S squared is equals to, hapo kiminus unapata nini? Minus 100. 38 point
38.292
3
29239.
29239. 29239. So you find the square root, so that A alone is equals to, what is the square root of that answer? That will be displayed on your calculator. So ufinye the square root of the answer, nataka kudoli na uweke mluya.
Square root
The answer. Unaweka kwanza answer.
Ndio kwanza sasa. Tell us that 8.299239 square root answer. Bana piga vitu gani?
Point
6.188
188
0.
1881, ndio? So this becomes, so A will be 6.19 centimeters. 6.19 centimeters.
Kitu gani mlishinda kuona? 38.
Angalia bali hivi. Chukua 100 minus this.
Nataka kuja hii ni 38.
Anza na square root kwanza.
Unaona square?
Niende ile yangu hii nimeweka. Very good. So uliza swali kama uko nalo.
It's not helping.
Not such.